What's up? What's up, everybody watching? Gonna deal with my ignorant self for a few minutes. If you are watching, thank you. If not, I don't care either way. I'm here to chat, here to talk. I don't know. Let me see what I got here. Let's see if I can message that's just the peeps. Anyway, for right now, I'm gonna be chatting regardless or talking. But hope everybody's doing well today. Wanted to get on and do this weekly for me. One of those things where I show up for myself. And that's what I'm going to do. I do this podcast on Tuesday as well with my buddy Ricky. And I'm also going to do this on Thursdays for my own podcast. I'm going to develop, different videos from it. Let me see if I can share the link. I did not share the link with people. But again, thank you for showing up. Thank you for watching. I hope you all are doing well. For those that don't know, my name is Josh, or JB333, as I prefer to be called. Somebody was asking me the other day, they're asking me about, I should talk about where did I get the idea of 333, and so I'm going to chat about that. Give me just a second, my friends. I'm live. This is super unscripted. So here we go. I hope this is actually on Facebook and, the other thing, but oh well, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, okay? Doesn't matter. Let me send this to old Ricky. Send this away. So the idea of 333 or 222, the idea of those, those are synchronistic numbers, as you would call them. And I got pretty obsessed with the idea of synchronicity and random coincidences, if you will. A long while back, I actually used to see the number 333. That's how it started for me. This was like in my 20s, and I was drinking all the time. And I would see this number so often all over the place in the most off the wall spots. And yes, again, you can say coincidences all day long. And I've had people say coincidences, but the fact is, you can write off a few times as coincidences, but at a certain point, you're deluding yourself. But in any case, finally, one day I decided I was going to look it up. To be honest, I was actually terrified to look it up because I felt there was like some kind of alien contact or something, just paranoia, because I'm terrified of, it's like one of my weird fears, like I'm terrified of little green men from outer space. You know what I mean? Silly, it's ridiculous fear, but hey, that's me, homie. K, that's me. So that was one of the things, I was scared as crap to look at it, and it is what it is. But I finally did, and it was, I looked up. Of course, you could look this up, and it'll give you a bunch of different reasons. But it eventually came to the idea of synchronicity, the idea that, what? I'll just give you the dictionary version of it right now since I'm chilling. Let's go to Google. What is synchronicity? What is synchronicity? Synchronicity is the simultaneous occurrence of events which appear significantly related but have no discernible causal connection. So it's like essentially a funny way of saying coincidences, but I think in this universe, it's silly to believe in coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe that there is mistakes. I believe that everything has its purpose, everything has its place, and that's just the way it is. Hard to understand, but I have a broad view of the universe itself, and I will start to cover that as I talk more, because it's inevitable. I was actually, a few years ago, I was actually an addict. And, well, a few years ago, I've been basically an addict my whole life, ever since I was old enough to get addicted to everything. Get addicted to video games, get addicted to candy, addicted to anything that helped me escape reality. I've been addicted to TV shows. You can be addicted to all this stuff, food, everything. And it is all just a matter of escaping a reality, because, you know, I was coming from a place of trauma. I had a lot of turmoil going on in my childhood, a lot of stuff that kids shouldn't see. And what happens when that happens? You start to seek escapes. So, you know, let's see, my brother's probably at work messaging me. So when you, not yet, bro. I'm getting people commenting on here on my thing. Get the views up. He's asking me how do you get paid for TikTok? And I don't know. You know, if you're looking for an answer for addiction, you know, like when you escape and everything, that's where you need to start. If you really want to know how to heal an addiction, then you need to start with the trauma that is causing it. Because they'll tell you, they'll fucking mess around and tell you on the internet, everybody, you have a disease, you have a disease. And it kind of acts like a disease in the body, 100%. I can agree with that. But it is not something that you're not sick. You have, you know, you're sick. I guess you could say you're sick with trauma, but you don't have a disease. You're not broken. You have something that you need to heal inside of you. And what you're doing is seeking escapes and everything that you could possibly think of. And that's what happens to addicts. That's why people get stuck and they end up relapsing over and over again, is because you never dealt with the problem that is causing all of that. It's the same way with people who get out of domestic abuse relationships. Like, you have to deal with the internal turmoil before you take that into the next relationship or the next relationship after that. So, like, if you're looking for an answer to addiction and how to cure it, that's the answer. You need to deal with the trauma. And almost I would wager just about every person who is addicted to drugs and alcohol has internal trauma. You know, who's addicted to sex, everybody who's addicted to everything has internal trauma. Just about everybody you meet is addicted to something. You know, they all will talk trash and be like, oh, you're a piece of crap, while they're getting drunk every night. You know, you call a drug addict for smoking weed. But yeah, for me, like, honestly, from when I was when I was young, I got, you know, all these traumatic experiences. I'm not going to go into that. So, you know, I got addicted to TV shows first. And then I met some people, got addicted to, you know, was introduced to the booze, you know, the vodka, Monarch vodka, specifically Monarch vodka. We used to pour it into a freaking gallon jug of orange juice and pass that shit around. And that is the most terrible hairspray tasting, like, grossness ever, bro. But, you know, we didn't have to take, you know, the whole fifth and pour it in, but we were kids. And we would drink this until we puked. And I found a kinship in my two best friends. To this day, me and them are still best friends. And that's what we did. We were all addicted to escaping our reality. And it's never changed. It's changed forms in many ways. It's, you know, changed, like, my, you know, one friend's, like, we've all started to realize it. We've all started to heal from our traumas and realize the addiction. But that shit's still there. You know, I have to talk to my one friend all the time and try to, I wish I could help him. I really do. If he watches this, I honestly would give nothing more, give anything to be able to help you and make you see that you are worth it. You are worthy. You know what I mean? Like, you can be, you know, something more than what you think you are. And, you know, he's a brilliant writer. And honestly, man, he's a good soul. And I worry about him all the time. Just know that. But, you know, it is what it is. Even if I got on here and have nobody watching right now, which is fine. Like, this is stuff that I'm going to work on. This is places, you know, this is the directions that I want to take my life in this podcast. I am a recovering addict, and I believe that I can help people overcome those problems 100%. And, you know, if I could share my story as a recovered addict, because I'm not going to say recovering, bro, because the idea that I'm still in recovery is silly. But, oh well. Again, for those just joining, talking about addiction, talking about overcoming addiction, talking about the direction I'm taking my YouTube channel and my videos. I'm heavily into conspiracy stuff. So like, I mean, when I was on, because I was addicted to meth, honestly. Shh. Don't keep that. Don't tell anybody. Anyway, when I'm on live stream telling people, when I was addicted to that, I went down some serious rabbit holes because I had a lot of time, because at the time I wasn't working. And when you're depressed all the time, conspiracies can be one of those things that give you a little buzz, they give you a little zing. And so you go down every single rabbit hole you possibly can. And so, I mean, I have a ton of conspiracy knowledge. And what I learned quickly as I started to grow in consciousness is that you cannot believe every single conspiracy theory, because then you will not accept reality as it is. Granted, I don't accept reality as it is, but like, you can't obsess over that stuff. In moderation, bro. In moderation. Let's see. I was going live at 7. Let's see what we got here. Maybe that's why these people are not jumping on. Let's go. Send it. Bro, if somebody don't come in here and chat with my ass. Oh. Legit clubs out here? All right, man. I'm going to try to come out to your menu. I got people consistently messaging me, man. Like, a lot of people have anxiety and don't want to get in chats and talk live because, you know, the last few years have made the internet a kind of toxic place. But here we are, man. This is all for all the world to see. You know what I mean? This is something that I'm going to be doing every week. Talking about, I would like to eventually get to a point where I can talk to people and try to help them with problems. You know what I mean? Jump in the chat. We can chat about stuff. I can offer my perspective. By no means am I professional, but I have gone to school, you know, for psychology. I have spent hours and days trying to freaking uncover my own mind. So I've read just about everything on psychology that I could possibly digest. I've read everything on metaphysics that I could possibly digest. I understand, you know, that we need, not only do you need mental healing from a standpoint, you know, that medical doctors can provide, but you also need mental healing you need spiritual healing. You have to combine the two. So the reason why people don't end up finding peace in this world is because usually it's only one or the other. You neglect one for the other. You know, you're super spiritual, but you're denying all your mental health because you're giving it all to God, and that is not the answer either. Or you're completely atheist and you deny that side of yourself and you become bitter and not understanding what our place is in this world. You know what I mean? But the fact is, obviously something else is going on here. You know, obviously there is spiritual forces at work, if you will. But let's see. Somebody asked the question, what are your beliefs in God? Do I believe in God? This is one of those comments that is, you know, it's one of those, like, everybody asks that because I have such wide varying beliefs. But yes, I 100% do believe in God. 100%, without a doubt. And the fact is, I just don't get confined with the dogma of religion. So what does that even mean? You know, what does that mean? What is dogma? So, like, if you look at it as like it traps you inside of a box, like religion will trap you inside of a box, while the idea, I hate using the term spiritual because it sounds stupid. I'm spiritual, but it's true. I am more of a spiritual person. The way my views on God is that God didn't create the universe per se. God literally is the universe. We live in a light matrix. So everything is light. And God is projecting this light into the world. You know, in the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was God. That is a thought. We are a dream. We are pretty much a projection, a light projection. And I've had experiences that have shown me that, you know, I'm like heavy on psychedelics, but that's for another day. Again, I've got one other question. So again, I guess you can sum up my belief on God as, again, I believe 100% in God. I believe that we essentially, our goal in this world is to remember what we are. Remember that everybody you talk to is a projection of God, essentially. So I mean, the idea of doing unto others as you would do unto you is because the person next to you literally is you in the ultimate sense. It's a hard concept to grasp, but everything and everyone is God, and that's pretty much sums up my beliefs. That's the info from the Law of One series, which I'm very, very much like in love with. That's been my book series that I've been obsessed with. And if you get a chance, read it. It's some heavy information. You have to really, really open your mind to accept it and believe it. But it's essentially, the Law of One is as simple as everything and everyone is one. That's it. Like, if you look into the secrets of Freemasonry and stuff like that, that's what they believe as well, is that we are all one. And that's the ultimate truth, is that everything and everyone is one. So that's my belief. Let's see if I got another question here. Oh, you believe in the devil? I don't believe in the devil. So I don't necessarily believe in the devil, but I believe that there's two sides of the coin in this universe. I believe that there's two paths. And one, you can define one as Jesus. Jesus taught the idea of service to others. Buddha essentially taught the idea of service to others. There's service to others, and then there's service to self. So service to self seeks power over others and seeks to enslave and essentially deifies the self. While service to others, you're acting in service to others, just like Jesus taught. You go help people. That's how you're supposed to live your life, is in service to others, because ultimately that person next to you is you. So that's the basic, the premise of the Law of One series. So I don't necessarily believe in the devil per se, but I do believe in the negative path, and that there is two sides that you can pursue that eventually lead back to the same place. And it's really complicated to explain. I could probably make several episodes just trying to explain the Law of One, and I probably will one of these days. But the thing didn't tell people that it was going on. Do it, bro. My brother's telling me he's trying to put gaming shorts on. Well, if you don't get on here and watch this motherfucking chat, homie. Anyway, let's see. My one friend is filling me full of questions. How did I overcome my addiction? That is a big question, actually. So, how did I overcome my addiction? How did I stop doing it? Well, I actually sought. I eventually came to the point where I was so messed up on heroin and meth that I sought out, I went the methadone route. And the original reason, sadly, that I went the methadone route is because I was like, oh man, I'll be able to come off meth. But I had methadone before and I liked it. So my actual reasons were not good. We're not pure. You know what I mean? I'm still, people will say that you're not getting high, and I have nothing against medication assisted therapy. But the fact is, and I'm going to be straight, just like I've been straight in any of these, it's like you're not meant to stay on it forever. And what I noticed when I went to these clinics is that everybody in those clinics intends for you to stay on this stuff forever. They were so they actually tried to talk me out of getting off of methadone when I eventually wanted to taper off. But the fact is, I mean, you go in there and be like, yeah, I'm not feeling my medication. I'm still feeling withdrawals. They will jack up your meds. And I was all the way up to I think it was 110 milligrams a day of methadone. And for anybody who's ever taken methadone, 110 milligrams is a freaking lot, dude. That's like probably eating 20 Vicodin a day, if you will. because methadone is probably double the strength of freaking Vicodin. And so that being the case, I started having all kinds of health problems because of that. And then slowly but surely I tapered down. I went down first to because I actually didn't go to the clinic for a few days. So they automatically dropped me down to like 80. And then slowly but surely I started going down like 3 milligrams a week and eventually got off of it back finally in 2018. Or was it 2018? It may have been the beginning of 2019 actually that I was actually finally off methadone, but I count my clean date as 2018 because that's when I actually finally quit doing meth, and that was the one that was hardest for me to get off. Heroin, that was one thing, and honestly, being on methadone didn't stop me from doing meth at all. I was getting high from both ends, and again, regardless of what people say, you could still get high from methadone 100% from these clinics. Like, all you need to do is say, hey, this stuff ain't working, let me get more. Lots of people are high on Suboxone all the time, and I have nothing against anybody doing that because, again, what I said in the beginning of this podcast is that you need to get down to the underlying reason of why you use so you don't relapse. So medication-assisted therapy actually has the highest success rate out of any recovery treatments, and that is because you're giving your body something every day that's keeping it occupied. But the key is to actually go through the therapy, figure out what it is that is causing you to want to use, and then going from there. Like for me, I know what it was. Like, I have done so much soul searching that I completely understand, why it was that I went through the drug addiction. 100%. I had all kinds of nonsense from when I was a kid. I lost a child back in 2014, me and the wife. And after that, I gave up, and it's selfish and sad because I had other kids to look after too. And thank God I had people to help me come off of that and make me realize, what the hell I was doing. People slapped me around. Then I had my sister, thank God, let me live on her lawn in a trailer to get my, I was literally homeless, lost everything. My whole freaking life, dude. And those drugs are freaking terrible, absolutely awful. Like, that's why it's silly when people put weed in the same category as these things. Like, bro, you've never heard anybody smoking weed and selling themselves on the street, standing on the street corner for weed money, bro. That's not the way it works. But anyway, so that's the answer there. Like, I got off, I use medication-assisted therapy, or MAT, as people call it in the TikTok community. That was one of the things I used, and it worked 100%. I'm here today. I got off of that stuff because of that. Once I started taking the treatment seriously and actually, got carries and stuff, and I started to taper down, I was on weekly carries, which is like you can take 5 doses home at once, once you pass enough drug tests and go to the right therapies and stuff. They give you the weekly carries. And one day I came in, did a drug test, and they failed me for cocaine, and I had never done cocaine. So I assumed that at that point I had just argued with them about coming off. That's why I know that they don't like people coming off. And all of a sudden I failed for something I hadn't done. It was stupid. So I was like, yep, I'm done. And I used kratom to taper off from there. And if anybody listened to this, that is a key, really good way. If you're going to come off of the stuff without going to rehab, without going to treatment, like, kratom will help. It is a natural painkiller. I'm not saying that anybody should do it and get addicted to that too, but it does work 100%. It is strong enough to curb the withdrawals of heroin, of methadone. And honestly, the secret to coming off meth, for those that don't know, is you need anti-anxiety pills, because what that does when you come off of that is it racks up your nerves and winds you up so tight that you explode. And that's why people end up going back. So I got this freaking stuff called, I think it's like Phenibut. It's probably, I don't know how it's pronounced, but that's what helped me come off of that. It's godsend. Changed my whole life coming off that shit. But, people are not necessarily watching right this second. But for those that do watch this recorded, like, talking about how I overcame addiction. I had a friend message me about that, trying to give me a little bit of material to talk. But yeah, that was pretty much, you know, how I came off addiction, how I came off my addiction to meth and heroin. And honestly, when I quit drinking back in, I think it's 2015, but when I quit drinking, it was because I went to other drugs. It's not really that much of an accomplishment, but in a world where everybody gets drunk all the time, I'm proud of myself, because like this is everywhere. You can't go anywhere without seeing alcohol. You can't go to any of your friends' house, any of your friends' party without seeing alcohol, literally everywhere. And that is the case, man. It's one of the hardest addictions to keep off of. I'm actually about out of time, but again, I'm going to be doing these 30-minute little videos here and there. I'm glad I sat down and did this because it's fun, man. It's good to get my story out there, and I want to help you. Like, if you watch this, join me next week at 6:30. I'm going to be trying to talk to people. If you want to chat with me, message me privately, tell me your story. Maybe I can help you. But don't suffer in silence. You know what I mean? I'm literally here to help you. I can help you maybe see a different perspective. I've helped lots of people I work with. I've helped, you know, all kinds of people all over the place. And the only way to do it is if somebody reaches out. But again, this is Reflections JB333, or whatever you want to call it, all over the place. I'm going to be signing off here in just a second. I thank for anybody if that's watching to this point. You know, I know it's difficult to watch, jump on here at freaking 6:30 at night and watch somebody you don't know about. But again, I'm going to use one of these reaction buttons because it's funny. Does it work? Oh, yeah. It was the roof, bro. Let me know any topics you want to talk about, bro, because I'm telling you, I have a vast conspiracy knowledge. Let me know. Again, thanks for watching. 1 or 2 people. I don't know if it shows me Facebook people, so maybe there's more people watching. However, I cannot see because nobody was commenting in chat. It's all good, all groovy. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Many, many blessings.